Hey friends, welcome back to She Talks Money, the podcast where we talk about building wealth, creating freedom, and really becoming the CEO of your life. And today's episode is a game changer because if you've ever felt just overwhelmed by money advice, like you need 14 spreadsheets, 6 income streams, and a finance degree just to feel secure, then this episode is for you. I'm going to break down a simple framework I use with my clients and in my own life called the 3 L's of wealth: liquidity, longevity, and legacy. It's not about chasing perfection. It's really just about building a life that gives you options, but today, tomorrow, and long after you're gone. And I promise, once you understand how these 3 pillars work together, you'll be able to stop second guessing your money moves, balance living well now and planning for the future, and start making confident financial decisions, even if you're starting from scratch. So grab a coffee, take a walk, or just settle in because this one's packed with practical takeaways and real life stories that you're going to want to stick around for. So let's dive into what are the 3 L's of wealth, okay? Let's start with a simple definition of each. Liquidity is just simply cash or cash equivalents that are readily available. So this is your short-term money, your safety net, your life happens fund. Longevity is your long-term investment strategy. So think retirement accounts, stocks, real estate, the money you're growing for the future. And legacy, that's the impact you want to leave behind. It's not just inheritance, though. It could be charitable giving, a business, real estate, or even helping your kids buy their first home. So let's take these one at a time. Liquidity is basically cash for peace of mind. This is the most underappreciated, but most critical pillar. Think of liquidity as your own oxygen mask. Before you build wealth, you need breathing room, right? So liquidity includes an emergency fund. I always recommend 3 to 6 months of expenses, high yield savings accounts, short-term CDs, and cash you could access without penalty. Okay, I had a client, she was actually killing it on a side hustle that she started, but she put so much money into that side hustle when her car broke down and she needed $3,000 unexpectedly, she didn't have access to quick cash. So she had real estate, she had a Roth IRA, but she didn't have liquidity. And that really put her in a stressful spot. When we worked together, we helped her build a cash cushion. She got up to like $10,000. And a year later, when she got laid off, she didn't have to panic. She took a breath, took some time to pivot, and she actually ended up launching her own coaching business, which was awesome. So here's your money move. Aim to save at least 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a liquid account, preferably something that's earning some interest, and make it a non-negotiable, like rent or groceries. Now, longevity. Longevity is to build the future use paycheck. Longevity is where the real wealth grows. This is your 401k, a Roth IRA or traditional IRA, real estate that appreciates, stocks and index funds, and long-term savings goals like college funds or big investments. Longevity is not a set it and forget it, though. It's a set it, review it yearly, and adjust as life evolves. Well, I had a friend, she's a little bit older friend of mine, but she didn't start investing until she was 42. She thought she was behind, but she automated her Roth IRA, she increased her contributions each year, and bought a small duplex at age 45, which was awesome. By 52, you guys, she had $420,000 in her retirement accounts and over $100K in equity in her property because she was committed to the long-term game. So if you're listening to this and you're in your 40s or 50s or older, don't think that you just have to give up and not start because it's too late. It's never too late. Here's your money move. Even if you start small, $200 a month toward a Roth IRA, the consistency will outperform the perfect plan you never start. Let's talk about legacy. This is the life you leave behind, right? This tends to be, I guess I don't want to be biased, I think this tends to be more meaningful sometimes to women. I know my husband and I have talked about financing and things that stress us out. It's like I'm so concerned with the legacy that I'm leaving behind and setting my kids and future generations up for. So it's really important. Legacy gets overlooked, but it is powerful. This pillar is about the impact beyond your lifetime or even just beyond today. Legacy can mean generational wealth for your kids, donating to causes you care about, starting a business that outlives you, writing a book maybe, or building a brand or teaching what you've learned. I worked with a woman once, she was in her 60s, who had just inherited a sizable sum. And she wanted to, quote unquote, do something good with it, but didn't know where to begin. And after she really reviewed her financial picture, she decided to set up trust accounts for her grandkids. She did set up a scholarship for girls entering STEM program, and she set up a fund for her daughter's business idea. That's legacy. And it didn't start with millions of dollars, it started with intention. So your money move, even though this maybe hasn't even been on your radar, start asking yourself, what legacy do I want to leave? And then you can reverse engineer how to fund that vision starting now. So here's a really great way of how to balance the 3 L's at different life stages. So if you're in your 20s or 30s, your focus should really be on the foundation. Make sure the liquidity, you're building an emergency fund. For longevity, you're starting to invest early, even if it's small because you're young, even like $100 a month can add up and make a big difference. And your legacy, really right now in your 20s and 30s, you're focusing on learning, values, and vision. So then when you hit your 40s and 50s, your focus can shift a little bit to acceleration. So your liquidity, you're increasing your savings buffer because now there might be kids or aging parents involved. Longevity is you're maximizing your retirement and maybe starting real estate or businesses. And that legacy, you're beginning to do estate planning and impact giving. So then when you hit your 60s, your focus is then on distribution. Your liquidity is keeping 1 to 2 years of cash on hand. Longevity shifts to income producing assets. And legacy is solidifying your estate, trust, and gifting strategy. Remember, you don't have to master all 3 at once. You just start with where you are and build from there. So here's what I want you to take away today. You don't have to do money the way everybody else does it. You don't have to choose between enjoying your life now and building for the future. With the 3 L's, liquidity, longevity, and legacy, you can do both. So today ask yourself, do you have cash for peace of mind? Am I planting seeds for my future? And what impact do I want to leave behind? And if any of those answers feel fuzzy, that's totally okay. That's what this podcast is here for. And hey, and if this episode gave you kind of one of those aha moments, will you do me a favor? Screenshot this episode, share it on your Instagram stories, tag us at Jennifer Butcher Mortgage, and tell me. I would love to hear from you which L you're focusing on this month. Remember, wealth isn't just dollars, it's confidence, options, freedom. And you were made for all of it. You've got this.